Hey guys, so before I release this word, I do want to say something and make something very clear that this is not just about standing for a marriage. This is not about standing for a person. This word is about standing for whatever God has spoken to your heart in that secret place, in those quiet moments where it was just you and Him. See, there's a different kind of weight that hits your spirit when God Himself has spoken something to you directly. It's one thing to hear a prophetic word from someone else, but it's another thing entirely when God prophesies to you, when He whispers a promise into your spirit, whether it's about marriage, your finances, your calling, your healing, your elevation. There's a depth to it that cannot be duplicated, that cannot be broken when you've heard it for yourself. Even when you're tired, even when you're weary of the wait, even when your emotions try to convince you to walk away from that thing that God spoke to you, you can't just throw in the towel. Why? Because you know what you heard and you know who spoke it to you. And when you've truly heard God, He won't let you unhear it. He'll convict your heart so deeply that no matter how much you want to move on, you just can't. Something in you just won't let you. And that's the Holy Spirit in you that will not let you. There have been moments where I've questioned myself. Did I hear wrong? Was that just me? Did I misinterpret? But even in those moments, God had a way of bringing everything back to me, bringing me back to that original word, a dream, a vision, a moment in prayer. He'll take you back to that seed that He planted. He'll take you back. And here's the thing about seeds: before anything sprouts above ground, it first grows beneath the surface. It takes root. And once God has planted that word in your spirit and it starts to take root, no amount of discouragement, no delay, no disappointment can uproot what God Himself has planted in your heart, what He has planted in you. But this is why it's so important to get your own word from God, because when you're only standing on someone else's prophecy, something that they prophesied to you, whether it came from a true prophet, a friend, or a stranger that God used, if you never took that word back to God and asked Him to confirm it for yourself, your stance will not hold the same weight. It just will not. It'll be easier for you to give up, easier for you to walk away, because you don't have that unshakable foundation. And that unshakable foundation, it comes from God's voice. It comes from the seed that He Himself planted. But when He's your foundation, guys, when you've heard it for yourself, even in your weakest moments, God will bring that word back to you. He will bring that word back to life in your spirit, and it'll be like a fire shut up in your bones, and you cannot quit. You cannot throw in the towel. You cannot give up. And I'm speaking from experience. I've wanted to give up many times, but every single time, God drops that same seed back in my spirit. Remember what I said? Remember what you saw? Remember what you heard? And just like that, I can't walk away from it. So I encourage whoever's listening to this, if they're if you haven't heard God for yourself about the thing that you're holding on to, go back to Him. Don't rely solely on someone else's word. Because when the pressure hits, when the wait gets long, when it gets strenuous, and it will, okay, it's going to be that personal word that keeps you going. It's going to be that seed that God Himself planted in you that keeps you from giving up, not what someone else prophesied to you. And if He did speak to you, stand on it. Even when you're tired, stand on it. Even when it looks impossible, stand on it. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, stand. Because when God speaks, His word does not return to Him void. It's going to accomplish exactly what He set out for it to accomplish. You cannot unhear or uproot anything that God has planted. But it's easy for you to uproot something that a prophet has prophesied to you or someone else has told you. It's easier for you to try to take hold of that and uproot that thing. It's easy for you to put fear and disbelief and your perspective in front of what God has spoken to you if it didn't come from him directly. But when you have heard him, when you've heard him, when you felt him, when you've seen the visions, when you've had the dreams, when God has showed you exactly what it is, I don't care how tired you get and how disappointed you get with God and how angry you get with God, you're not going to give up on it because God spoke it to you and you can't unhear it. Once he plants that seed in your heart, in your spirit, you cannot uproot it. God is going to convict you and take you back. Remember that dream. Remember when I showed you this. Remember when I showed you that. And when he shows you stuff, it's the things that there's no way you can make those things up. When he has you relive that vision, relive that dream, relive that moment he spoke to you, when you begin to sit there, you're like, there's no way I could have put this together by myself. So let me just stand on what God has said. Even though I'm frustrated, I'm aggravated, I'm over it, like I don't even want it anymore, you're still going to stand on it for the simple fact that you heard God yourself. You heard God yourself. It's so much easier to stand on what God has spoken to you. If it's a restoration of marriage, of finances, a elevation, a restoration of your career, a restoration of self, whatever it is, a restoration of your family, whatever it is, if God has spoken it to you directly and he planted that seed, you're not going to be able to uproot it that easily. It's going to be easier for you to give up if someone has spoken it to you and you never heard it for yourself. And he tells you to test the spirit by the spirit for a reason, because you should be taking every word that you get from a prophet and evangelist, from anybody. God will use somebody that's not a prophet to tell you, to give you a word, right? But you should be taking that word back to God and saying, is this from you? And he will confirm to you directly if that's from him, not you testing the spirit by taking it to another prophet or taking it to your pastor and letting them tell you you heard from God correctly. Like, they can't tell you that. You have to have a relationship with God to know what he's spoken to you. There's so many people that standing for things that God never told them to stand for, especially in the marriage department. And y'all are upset thinking God is bringing something when he never told you that in the first place. You let somebody else prophesy that to you. So you test the spirit by the spirit, so that if anybody tries to tear that promise away from you, you know what God told you, you're not going to fold. So I just wanted to share that with you, because when you have heard from God yourself, you carry that promise with a different type of weight upon you. You know for a fact, no matter how much you want to give up and how much junk you talk about giving up, you're not going to do it, because God is going to keep bringing you back to that moment he spoke a certain thing to you. He showed you a certain thing. He's going to keep bringing you back to those moments. And again, I'm speaking from experience. So I just wanted to share that with someone tonight. I'm in the car, y'all. I just came from getting a massage, so I'm looking kind of crazy. So excuse me, but I just wanted to share that before I got out of the car. Take whatever you're standing for to God if you have yet to hear him. And for those of you that have heard God speak on what he told you is going to be, and even though the wait has been long and strenuous and it's been hard and all of those things, you know deep down inside you're not giving up on that, because there's no way you cannot unhear what God has told you. So regardless of how aggravated you get, you're going to always go back to what God showed you and what he told you and what you saw through God. You're going to always go back to that even when you want to give up. And those people that know what I'm talking about, comment below and let me know, because I guarantee you've tried to give it up before and God brought you back every time. Every time. So I just wanted to share that. I love you guys and I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.